Hello, everyone. I bring you greetings from the tiny isle of Montserrat, an island in the British territory and nestled in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. It's my pleasure to be with you here tonight, and I want to say a big thank you to Reef Futures and the organizers of this event, especially to Tali Vadi, no affiliate, one of your amazing organizers. Thank you for recommending me and for having the confidence for introducing me to the network and to this talk. I am grateful for the opportunity to share my story of myself and my work with you all today. Now, I am a single mom and I have a 10-year-old child, so I'm so sorry that I could not be with you today. In fact, I'm all the way across the Atlantic in a little Cornish village in the UK, where I am just about to start my master's in marine vertebrate ecology and conservation. And for those of you who know what it's like to be a single mom working in this space, you know the challenges are real. And I am gutted that I can't be there today, but this is just the reality of the work that I'm doing now. So in 2020, I was a finalist in the Global Ocean Award. It's an award that is held by Blue Marine Foundation and Boat International. And it was for my work with Fish and Fins, our kids' ocean club, where I taught children to swim, snorkel, and get involved in ocean conservation. It was a massive community effort that has cross-pollinated to neighboring islands such as Barbuda. Now, I've learned many harsh lessons in this journey over the past decade, and one of them is that changing the business climate around conservation remains a massive challenge. And though we can teach children to swim, snorkel, and get immersed in coral reefs, it still doesn't seem enough. I don't believe that our work is impactful enough until we begin to connect the dots and show them how life below water actually creates new opportunities for livelihoods, for study opportunities, and for more money on their family tables. And so as a result, in 2020, I thought a bit deeper about it. I thought deeper about how we're going to make our small organization or small NGO sustainable, and how we were going to make a greater impact in our community in a space and place where tourism is so much our bread and butter. And I landed on smarter tourism. For me, it is what equitable collaboration looks like for the blue economy in the Caribbean. It's a model to embed advanced science, learning, exploration, and entertainment technologies within the tourism industry. That is not only applicable for Montserrat, but I believe all small island developing states. Now, before I go on, I just wanted to give you a little bit more context about my home, Montserrat. We've got around 4,500 people there. We have around 20 to 45% live coral cover. 5 species of marine life are critically endangered. 10 species in the endangered category, lots and lots of small fish. Personally, I would like to see a lot more big fish. And Montserrat's challenges are unique due to its size and active volcano. In fact, in 1997, in our biggest volcanic eruption, we lost over 2/3 of our coral reefs. And in the past 25 years of volcanic activity, we've seen an aging population, lack of economic progress, migrating youth, our public health care, education, and cultural heritage are also endangered. This is a photo from my bedroom window in 1997, shortly before I became a volcano refugee. And it was a time in which our island population took a dive from around just under 11,000 people to at its lowest 2,500. Now, in the far left of this image, you'll see me. I was growing up in a beautiful, idyllic village called Happy Hill in Montserrat. In the middle, there's my dad, and he's the first man I would identify as an environmentalist because of his tireless work keeping Montserrat green and clean. Although he's never really been swimming, he doesn't know how to swim and he's scared of the sea. On the far right, there's me. I had just moved to the UK, had terrible fashion sense, and was terribly cold, but making the best of it. This is a photograph of my dad, who's made his living as a tour guide pre-volcano. This was him in the Soufriere Hills volcano before the volcano became active and came back awake. By 2011, I returned back to the island of Montserrat because I was determined to be a part of the island's redevelopment. I started a business called Aqua Montserrat, and it's an eco-tour business, which would give people an immersive experience of culture around the sea on our island. And I invited people from all over the world to come and to participate and to even help build this organization. So we've had volunteers from as far as Serbia and Australia. Here you can see some of them. These were our first volunteers around 2014 or so. We also worked with the local fishers and local fishing community. Here is my friend and spear fisher, Beamish, aka David, who would help me in my mission of reconnecting our people to the sea, and would introduce the children as well as parents and elders in the community to swimming and also tours of the coral reef. We taught them all how to snorkel. And here we also have David with some of our volunteers and tourists, where at Aqua Montserrat we would teach them all about the coastal life of Montserrat, what it was to catch fish, what it looked like to grill the fish and prepare it in traditional means. And this community focused tourism product caught the eye of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, and in 2017 I was named Montserrat's Tourism Ambassador, or Adventure Tourism Ambassador. You might wonder why and how I was so passionate about doing this work around Aqua Montserrat and Fish and Fins, and the two reasons really. I didn't get up close to coral until much later in my life. I was already in my early 20s, and I grew up on the island, so close to the beach, never seeing turtles, never getting up close to coral reef, even though turtles were nesting on our backyard and coral reef was in my backyard too. And I felt that no other children in Montserrat should have to experience that, not in this day and age. And also I saw a father die trying to save his child who had jumped into a swimming pool but didn't know how to swim. And the father tried to save her, but he didn't know how to swim, and he unfortunately lost his life. So I was a woman on a mission, determined to get our children water safe, our community connected to the sea, and for our community to see the blue economy or ocean economy as link to the future development, a critical link to the future development of our island. So this is where it all began, Fish and Fins. And it's a big thanks to our community, to our elders like Murphy here, who would teach the children about his life at sea and his diet of seafood. That's all he ate. He's a pescatarian, and he's got incredible stories around the sea, around climate change even. And these are some of the things that we would do. We would spend time with the local fishing community and learn about the traditional fishing practices. On the left, you'll see Uncle Fred, who would teach the children about what's involved in seine fishing. And on the right, we'd have Beamish teaching about line fishing and shore fishing, how to bait a line and what it was like having that job as a fisherman. We'd also have Murphy showing the kids how he would make a raft and how he would smoke fish to eat in traditional methods. We had on the right here Arnold, a good friend of mine, who would teach me how to spearfish, who would teach me also how to free dive. And also I was in turn able to employ him at Aqua Montserrat for leading reef tours and lionfish hunting. And in a way, it took him away from more unsustainable fishing practices, perhaps. On the left here, you'd see Uncle Fred selling his fish in his van. Now, around the time we started Aqua Montserrat and Fish and Fins, lionfish was still is a major threat to the Caribbean reefs. And with laying around 40,000 eggs in 1 week, we saw lionfish as a major threat to our coral reefs and also to our commercial and culturally significant fish, redfish, groupers, snapper, butterfish. And so we would get members of our team to actually show the children and community members how to spearfish and how to prepare that fish, catch it safely even. Here in the photograph to your right, you'll see our lionfish hunter at Fish and Fins spearing a lionfish, and then the children actually above swimming and seeing this demonstration. Out of that, we saw fish and finners like Matthew here learn how to spearfish, and would catch his own lionfish. And we also had Abigail, who would be so excited after immersing herself on the reef that she'd come back to the clubhouse and teach herself how to identify fish and coral. Here, Matthew was being recognized by the one and only DJ Turtle for his lionfish catch. And Abigail and her sister Sade learned to swim and snorkel at Fish and Fins. On the right, we have Denari, who interned with Fish and Fins and later would do reef cleanups and help us in reef patrol at Fish and Fins as well. I would take the young girls especially to some of the high-level meetings I would attend on climate resilience with the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, so they can actually see how the work that we were doing with them at sea, snorkeling, doing bleach cleans, and etc., related right back to some of our local, regional, and global goals. Now, the Caribbean is the #1 tourism destination in the world, if for those of you who know or may not know. And yet, nonetheless, the ocean playing such a massive part in our day-to-day life and livelihood, so many people still don't know and have not really spent time at sea. They don't know how to swim. They haven't gotten involved in a reef patrol. They haven't really been up close to coral reefs. And I believe there's an enormous potential now to actually build scientific capacity on our island. We need to start to improve ocean literacy on our islands. And now is the time. What is exciting for the future is that we have a whole new tribe of ocean heroes who are excited and ready to learn and do more. They've all grown up. They're now teenagers in their early 20s, some, and they want to get that scientific knowledge and be able to participate in research. And I'm very pleased to report that I'm still working with local fishers here in a recent photograph, pictured with our local fishers who are supporting on some of our projects as well. So the equitable blue economy, a smarter tourism model. Now this vision, pretty similar to the vision I had for Fish and Fins, is one where we're reimagining the tourism industry that is more equitable and resilient. Smarter tourism leverages science and technology to improve marine awareness, encourage advocacy, stewardship, and create economic opportunities. I believe we must collaborate, seriously collaborate with small NGOs like my own and international organizations like yours to accelerate towards Sustainable Development Goal 14. So what does a smarter tourism program look like? Well, there are two components: an online portal for collecting visual and video data, and two, citizen science training center, so that we can use that data and teach visitors, fishers, and kids in our community how to collect scientifically robust data. What we need from you is your support for business modeling and analysis for each of these components, partnership development and structure, and opportunities to co-design and prototype development for low-cost ocean exploration tools. Currently, we're testing Macanu with fishers on Montserrat. Macanu is a low-cost, high-tech camera and sensor system designed by collaborators at MIT and now the Ocean Discovery League and Oceanic. Macanu can transform accessibility to ocean exploration as well as inform fisheries and include deep fisheries in marine protected areas and marine spatial plan work that's going on in our islands at the moment. A 5-year time frame is what I'm looking at now. And immediately, I believe we can start to collect data and content in images, or video images, and still images. In the medium term, having 1 to 2 years to create stackable certificates for our visitors, for our fish and finners, for our community, for our fishers as well, via online learning platforms. It could be everything from learning to swim and lifeguarding to coral reef restoration to even how to make virtual video games. And in the long term, 3 to 5 years, we're hoping to develop smart blue marine packages, content for commercial use and content integration across fisheries and health and wellness. And finally, smarter fishers cooperatives, diversifying livelihoods, working on the future of our equitable blue economy. So what does the future look like? Well, youths, fishers, and small businesses in the Caribbean generating supplementary income through creative content creation and collaborative science research, which is much needed as we map our road out of COVID recovery. And we're connecting people across the world to the magic of the seas and the coral reefs of the Caribbean, supporting global travel agents and local tourism operators with exciting marketing content. And I've spoken to some that are very interested in this. Direct tourism dollars and human capital towards restoration and protection of the ocean environment. Nowadays, our tourists want to know that they're contributing to solutions in these islands too. So smarter tourism is a pathway to bigger opportunities for youth to dream and have the capacity to choose how that dream manifests. So let's make smarter tourism a reality. And thank you so much for listening. You can collaborate with me at Veta@VetaWay.com or contact me at our email and website, aquafishandfins.com. I'm also on LinkedIn and Instagram. Thank you.